one of free agency is completely underway. Monday happened. A lot of deals went down. There were already some trades that happened in the previous week, but a lot of teams spent a lot of fucking money. I'm going to break down my biggest winners so far in wave one in today's video. Let's get into it. Now, the big winner, I think, has to be the Tennessee Titans. They spent a lot of money, but they added great players to improve their defense. Majority of their moves were to the defense. Receiver position, they got Wan'Dale Robinson. This is a guy in the slot, 1,000-yard receiver. Great success with Brian Dable. Couple seasons with him. So he follows his former head coach, new OC with the Titans, Brian Dable. Cam Ward's in the building. Cam Ward is at the quarterback position for the Titans too, and he is very underrated. His rookie season was not as bad as the numbers suggest. Still threw for 3,100 yards, and Brian Dable went there for a reason. He loves the idea of coaching Cam Ward, and Cam Ward finally has a weapon now with Wan'Dale Robinson, who I think is going to eat in the slot. You got some young players that showed some promise this past season. I think they draft Jacoby Lane in the second round, maybe the receiver Chris Bell from Louisville, get a playmaker, and then Jeremiah Love at pick 4. And this offense is cooking. Because defensively, Robert Saleh is going to make that defense elite either way. But in free agency, they got John Franklin Myers to go along with Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons had 11 sacks last year. John Franklin Myers, this is somebody that has had 14 and a half sacks the last 2 seasons, dominant in the interior, great pass rusher, great against the run. You got Jermaine Johnson, a guy that was pretty good with Robert Saleh too. First or second season with the Jets before he got hurt. Yeah, Robert Saleh was getting the most out of Jermaine Johnson, so like him off the edge. You could go Ruben Bain at pick 4 too. Either way, you're going to be sitting in a good spot with whoever you take at 4. You signed 2 of the best corners in this free agency class with Alontae Taylor from the Saints, young, talented corner, Cordell Flott. That's a good corner that the Giants let go away, but he comes to Tennessee. Hopefully, Robert Saleh can get the most out of L'Jarius Sneed, and the secondary is looking really good. So I like the position that Tennessee's in. Robert Saleh was getting free agents too. People wanted to come play with him. Cordell Flott was going to resign with the Giants, but no, his talk with Robert Saleh brought him to Tennessee. So like the moves that Tennessee has made, they overpaid for some guys, but that's okay. This is a young team. Tennessee is not the most attractive landing spot, but they were able to make some really good moves. Excited to see what they do with pick 4, and they still have some money to spend. The next one I have is Carolina Panthers. I don't think anybody improved their defense or offense as much as the Panthers. Now, Jalen Phillips was an overpay. $30 million a year for an injury-prone guy, okay, but this is still a young pass rusher that has hella upside, high ceiling. Not too long ago, he was almost forced to retire with his medicals, but with the Eagles, trading for him from the Dolphins instantly improved that defense. Had 5 sacks last season, 53 tackles. Game after game, he was wrecking games for the Eagles, and I think he could do the same thing for the Carolina Panthers. Off the edge with Nick Scorton, who's another young player that they drafted last season, showed promise as well. Derek Brown controlling the interior, 5 sacks last season, one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. Now you get Phillips off the edge, and the Panthers were 28th in sacks last season. I think Phillips drastically improves that. And he allows you to go best player available at your draft pick. Kenyon Sadiq, maybe a tight end, maybe a receiver, another guy for Bryce Young. A lot of routes. You could go edge too. You could do a lot of things. So Jalen Phillips, I think he's going to be a 10-sack guy this next season for the Panthers. He's a top young pass rusher in the NFL, was top 10 in pressures last season. Had 80 pressures too, I think the season before or last season. This is a guy that I think could fit in very well with Carolina's defense. Their defensive coordinator runs a very similar defense to Vic Fangio. So Phillips, great signing, regardless of the money. And him getting overpaid, you were able to give him more money because you gave Devin Lloyd $15 million a year. Crazy. Quay Walker got more than Devin Lloyd. Sad. But Devin Lloyd is going to improve this defense. One of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. Fast, 5 interceptions last season, 76 tackles. Great off-ball blitzer. You could do a lot of great things with him. He's going to improve this run defense too. Him and Derek Brown controlling the fronts, working together. That's as good as it gets from a linebacker and defensive tackle perspective. So I think those 2 guys will be nasty. Dan Morgan cooked this offseason with the Panthers. Game changer at linebacker. You get a game changer at edge. You have a game changer at D-tackle. J.C. Horn, really good. Mike Jackson in the back end too. And then the safety they picked up from the Raiders, Trevion Moreg, you got him too. So you have 5 really good cornerstone pieces for this defense. Knock it out in the draft and you're cooking. The next one I have is the Raiders. Now, they spent more than anybody and they had more money than anybody. Still have 45 to 50 mil left, but Tom Brady and Spytek cooked. It might be safe to be a fan of the Raiders again. It might be safe to be investing stock in the Raiders. You look at Tyler Linderbaum getting 27 M's a year for 3 years, though, so you're not tied to him for 5 seasons, but that's a lot. I mean, Creed Humphrey is the highest paid center prior to this, and he was 18 mil a year. So he knocked it out the park with that, but the Raiders' offensive line was terrible last season. Colton Miller's like one of the better left tackles in the league. Now you have somebody in the interior to hold down the fort. Jackson Powers Johnson better served as a guard. So you have a guard, left tackle, center. Took some chances on some tackles in the draft last season. But I think this offensive line is in a way better spot with Linderbaum. I think he upgrades this unit drastically. You really need a good center, especially if you're bringing in a rookie quarterback. So I'm not mad at them going and bagging off Tyler Linderbaum. Happy the Bears didn't do that, though. The interior is going to be so much better. Jalen Naylor, receiver from the Vikings. This is an underrated guy who could be a great number 2. This is an offense that, needs some more weapons, could use another high-end receiver. Maybe you go Omar Cooper Jr. To pair Mendoza with his guy in college to make him as comfortable as possible. But at the very least, you have weapons. Brock Bowers is going to be still that generational tight end. Clint Kubiak is going to make this offense that much better, develop and increase the production in the players in this offense. So Jalen Naylor, one of these guys that's a man coverage beater, always getting open. He was J.J. McCarthy's best weapon last season. Underrated receiver, and I think he'll be somebody that is very productive in this offense with Kubiak. Then you look at the defense. 2 Georgia linebackers. Quay Walker was a name signing. Not as good as the numbers say, but he's an improvement from what they had. I really like the Nakobe Dean value for what they got for him. Value contract better. I think that's more suitable to the player you're getting. And I think he's going to outplay that contract too. I think he was a huge reason why the Eagles defense was so successful the past few seasons. They went to the Super Bowl. He had a fantastic year that year. He embodies what that defense wants to be: physical, fast, explosive. He's impossible to block in blitz pickup situations for running backs. So Nakobe Dean is going to be that guy that improves this defense. When he was hurt the Super Bowl season. Following into the next season, the Eagles defense was not the same defense. Once he got back, the defense got better against the run, so he made a huge impact. Really like that. Eric Stokes is a great corner too for the Raiders. Played really well last season. Gave him a 3-year extension. Cody Payne, overpay, but this is somebody that's upgrade at their edge position for them. Malcolm Kuntz is back too. Gave him 11 mil, kind of questionable, but this defensive line is in a decent spot right now. You have a solid foundation. Got to hit it out the park in the draft, and they have all the capital in the world possible to make that happen. So really like the moves that they made. My signings for the Raiders that are my favorite, probably Tyler Linderbaum and Nakobe Dean. I think those are 2 really good pieces. And you look at the moves that they made in this free agency period in wave 1, all young guys. Nobody really over 27, 28. So really like that. And this team is building to be an exciting, young, fun team. My last and final winner is the Giants. I think the Giants did a great job. John Harbaugh knows what he wants, but you look at an offense that's going to be explosive. Jackson Dart throwing to Malik Neighbors, and Isaiah Likely, getting him at the contract he got. I think they got him at a better price than he expected to get. But really crazy that the Ravens let him go. But 12 personnel featuring Theo Johnson, Isaiah Likely is going to be nasty. Malik Neighbors as well too is going to be in some one-on-one situations. Isaiah Likely is going to be in one-on-one situations, and they're going to win every time because they're that fucking good. You bring back your right tackle. That was elite last season. Andrew Thomas at the left tackle position. Offensive line's going to be better. Matt Nagy's questionable OC hire, but I think he has too much people to work with to not be successful with that. Ardarius Washington's another Baltimore Ravens guy that John Harbaugh brought in that I think is a great pickup. He was like one of the reasons why the Zach Orr defense prior to last season was pretty decent when he got into a more asked role. And Tremaine Edmonds at the linebacker position, the Bears, the value they were paying him wasn't just for, his production. The defense that the Bears were running too, it wasn't as good of a scheme fit, but him with the Giants, I think that's a great addition, a great move for them at the linebacker position. Greg Newsome at corner too is a great addition to, combat the players they lost at that position. So they're in a good spot. They look like a playoff team right now. And my favorite move for them so far is probably Isaiah Likely. I think he's in a spot to be a top 10 tight end, top 5 tight end, and have a really big year and be a very necessary piece to the development of Jackson Dart. Let me know down below in the comments who were your biggest winners from free agency wave one.
Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.